Okay, so on this question, we are wanting to solve this equation right here. And so basically it's right what we're doing. We're solving, I'll write it up here. We're solving it m squared or x squared or whatever with an equal sign. So how do you solve an x squared with an equal sign? Step one, get 0 on one side so that m squared is positive m squared. You want the biggest term, the m squared, to be positive. So let me go over here and I'll write the equation. So we have m squared equals 3m plus 28. So in other words, what we want to do is, well, here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to come in here and go, okay, I'll go minus m squared from both sides, and boom, and then I got a 0, and I got minus m squared plus 3m plus 28. I don't want to do that because that would make him minus. I want him to be positive, the m squared. So instead, I'm going to move it the other way. I'm going to move everything over to the side where m squared will be positive. So I'm going to go instead minus 3m minus 28. Here's the wall here. On both sides. So I'm going to go minus 3m minus 28 on both sides like that. Cancel. And so I get what? M squared minus 3m minus 28 equals 0. So I got a 0 on one side and I made the m squared be positive. You want the front term positive. That just makes your factoring a lot easier, which is our next step. Now, at the same time, really all you have to do is you can just grab these guys and just jump them to the other side. You don't have to do all that stuff I'm writing. That'll be quicker. And when things jump to the other side, they just switch their signs. They'll become minus and minus. That'll save time. All right, step 2. Let's go to step 2. What are we going to step 2? Factor with the 2 parentheses. So I'm going to write 2 parentheses equals 0. And I'm going to write multiply, add, multiply. That's what we always do for 3 terms. Multiply, add, multiply. So we're looking for some, what multiplies to be m squared? Well, that's m times m. So right, the front times the front. Front times front makes the front. And then what about the back? What multiplies to be 28? Well, 7 times 4. Huh? You might think, what about 2 times 14? Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I'm thinking 7 and 4 because I'm looking at that 3 in the middle. So 7 times 4. Notice I don't put any pluses or minuses at first, do I? I just write 7 and 4. And then I'll figure out which ones are positive and negative. How do you figure out which ones are positive and negative? So far, front times front makes front, and last times last makes last, right? Sometimes we're 28. Now, how do I get the middle? Well, here's the rule. I hope you're getting to know the rule really well by now. The sign in the middle always goes on the bigger number. Guaranteed. Let me write that. The sign in the middle always goes to the bigger number. So the 7 is bigger than the 4. So the sign in the middle always goes, whatever it is, minus or plus or whatever sign's in the middle always goes to the bigger number. Okay, now how do you know the other sign? Well, it's whatever works. Negative 7 times what sign on the 4 to multiply to be negative 28? Well, a negative times a positive makes negative 28, doesn't it? So that other one, the 4, had to be positive. So the sign in the middle goes on the bigger number, and then the sign on the smaller number can be positive or negative. It just depends on what you need on that. And then notice they do add to be negative 3, don't they, right? Negative 7 plus 4 is negative 3. No, it's all good. All right, now we're not done here. Right? When you have an equal sign, you need to do one more step after the parentheses, don't you? I have to do step 3, set each part equal to 0 and solve. We have more to do because we have that equal sign. So I'm going to set each part. So I take the m minus 7 equal to 0 or the m plus 4. Each part equals 0 separately like that. And then we just finish it from there. We say, okay, so I'm going to add 7 to boom, boom. So M is 7, subtract 4, so M is most. And you've probably seen the pattern, right? Whatever's in the parentheses is going to be opposite sign, isn't it? That's always going to work. So there's our two answers. 7, comma, negative 4. I just want you to put both answers with a comma between them, like that. And we've solved it. What does that mean? Those are the answers. That means those are the numbers that would make the equation true if plugged in. But if I put in a 7 here and a 7 here, and I worked out, let's do it. 7 squared, what is that? 49. What is it? 3 times 7, 21 plus 28. Guess what that is? 49. See how it made the left side and the right side equal? 7 is a real answer. 7 is a value that makes the left side and the right side equal. It balances the equation. So with negative 4, if I plugged in negative 4, watch. You don't have to do this. It's not required. I'm just showing you what it is. What are we even doing here? We plugged in negative 4 here and negative 4 here. What is negative 4 squared? That'd be 16. What is 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 plus 28. 28 minus 12? 16. Look at that. Balances the equation. See how positive 7 and negative 4, either one plugged in both M slots, balance the equation. Those are the values that balance the equation. We found what makes the equation true. The numbers 7 and negative 4. How did we do that? How do we know that would be the numbers that balance the equation? Logic. Logic. That's how we build buildings and fly airplanes and go to the moon. By logic. One step after the other. It's what separates us from the animals, right? Logic led to all that, meaning, you know, get a 0, and when two things multiply to be 0, either one could be 0, and all that logic led to those answers. So there we go.